So you're thinking about moving to Northwest Arkansas, and one town that caught your eye is Rogers. Rogers is perfectly situated in Northwest Arkansas, and today we're going to take a good look at why it could possibly be the perfect location for you. Hi everybody, I'm Brooke Sanders-Tennant, and I'm a real estate agent here in Northwest Arkansas, and I help people like you relocate to this area almost every single day. And one of the major things they ask is, where should I live? And I always say, well, it depends on what your lifestyle is like. And that's why I believe location is key. So today we are going to look into living in Rogers, Arkansas, how it fits into Northwest Arkansas overall, but also how the city is laid out. So if you do choose Rogers, you'll know where you need to live. So let's dive on into Google Maps. We're going to show you around the area, and hopefully this will give you a good idea of how Rogers fits into the rest of Northwest Arkansas. All right, so let's take a look at Northwest Arkansas. I'm going to draw a little bit here on the map for you and just show you that in Northwest Arkansas, we've got Missouri to the north, and then we've got Oklahoma to the west. And we're really fairly close to both of these borders. Now, when we talk about the big four of Northwest Arkansas, we're really going Bentonville all the way south to Fayetteville. And then right here, almost right in the middle, is the city of Rogers. One of the reasons why it appeals to so many people is because of the location. So let's just take a little look at Rogers itself and how far it is from everything else. So we're going to take a look at I-49. I-49 is going to be a big corridor that is kind of the artery through Northwest Arkansas. It is the artery through Northwest Arkansas. So it's going to take you north all the way to Missouri. It will take you south down to I-40, which will then take you into Little Rock. It will also take you into Oklahoma. So you will spend a lot of time on I-49, and a lot of people are always wondering, how far does it take me to get to I-49 from where I'm living? Because that's going to be the major part of your commute. Once you get on I-49, there's some traffic, but usually that's going to be the least amount of time that you're going to be spending on the road. So keep in mind I-49. When it comes to location, and Rogers has location, location really matters. How far is your commute, for most people anyway? How far is my commute to work? So we're going to talk about the major three employers plus the University of Arkansas. So let's take a look here. First up, we're going to look at this drive time. You're going to go from Rogers all the way up to the Walmart home office. That is going to take you probably about 15 to 20 minutes. So you see that. Now let's take that off the hint there, and we're going to go Rogers to Tyson Foods. So we're going to go down further south, as you can see here, and that's going to take you down to Tyson Food headquarters in Springdale. Again, you're going to be about 20 minutes away, so very centrally located. Okay, and probably one of the closest drives for you when it comes to living in Rogers is going to be to J.B. Hunt. That's probably going to take you about 10-15 minutes from downtown Rogers to get to J.B. Hunt headquarters. Now, if you travel a lot for your business and you need easy access to Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport, this is one of the things you're probably going to love the most, because Rogers is so centrally located. As you can see here, you're probably no more than a 20-minute drive to the airport. So that's going to be great when you have those early morning flights and the late morning flights. The other good news about the regional airport, we do have direct flights to almost every major city in the United States. Time to get from a check-in through TSA and then to your gate is usually pretty limited. So it's not an airport that you always have to be there 2 to 3 hours ahead of time. So that's another thing to really love about living in Arkansas. Now that you know where Rogers is positioned in Northwest Arkansas in relationship to some of the major employers, the next thing to think about is, how is Rogers itself laid out? So we're going to start with the historic downtown Rogers. It is located east of I-49, as you can see here. And let's zoom on down into historic downtown Rogers. Now, this is going to be Walnut Street. And then we usually go to First Street is going to be another one of the main corridors through historic downtown Rogers. And when we talk about downtown Rogers, it almost looks like a movie set. Lots of old brick buildings, lots of history down there. We also, and it's kind of the place that everybody all the cool kids hang out, so to speak. When you look at downtown Rogers, we do have Onyx Coffee Lab. It is going to be, that is actually their headquarters, and I've talked about Onyx before. It was literally named the best coffee in the entire world. I would say they're probably right on that. As you come down here, you can see there are some historical museums. You're also going to have a lot of places to eat. Parkside Public is one of everyone's favorites. Casa Alejo is one of my favorite Mexican restaurants. They're also in Springdale, so that's a place I definitely would suggest that you go down there. Lucy's Diner over here. Lots of different places to go. We also have Ozark Beer. And then probably one of the biggest draws to downtown right now is going to be the Rail Yard Live. Rail Yard Live is a fabulous little area that they have developed near the railroad. That's why it's called Rail Yard Live. They also have the Butterfield Stage. This is going to be a place where you've got farmers markets, you've got little festivals going on. One of the biggest festivals that comes to downtown Rogers every year happens in the September-October timeframe, and that is called Blues, Bikes, and Barbecue. It has lots of music, lots of food. We got lots of bikers from across the country that come in, and they celebrate the biking culture, but also the culture of Northwest Arkansas. So we love to have them there for that. So if Rogers and, history, if you like old stuff, like old historic buildings, this is probably the part of Rogers that you're going to love the best. Now, when we go west of I-49, that's when we have a whole different feel. Okay, so we're going to completely shift gears, as I said, and we're going to go to the new upscale kind of shopping center and heart of Rogers. I like to say it's got lots of glass, lots of chrome. To me, this part of Rogers really feels like, when you think of a big city, like the cool hip suburb that everybody wants to live in, this part of Rogers really feels like that to me. So when we look at this area on the map here, I'm going to pull out just a little bit. So you see here's the I-49 corridor right there. And then right off of there, you're going to have the Walmart Arkansas Music Pavilion, or the AMP that we call it the AMP, where all the major music concerts come throughout the summer and into the fall and, of course, early spring. You have Topgolf Rogers. This is also on this side of town. You're going to get a very good mix of restaurants and shopping over here. This is where a lot of your boutique shopping is going to be. We're going to have spas over there. I believe it's the world's largest Ruth's Chris is actually located over here. And then Purple Cow is a local favorite, for milkshakes and burgers. Grubb's Bar and Grill, we have one of those in every single town. And then also near the Walmart AMP, you're going to see Topgolf Rogers, which is also another really favorite part of for people to come and see. So this is kind of that type of shopping area. Now, if you go just to the east of I-49, that's where you're actually going to find the Promenade Shopping Center. And honestly, that is probably the biggest mall type shopping that you're going to find. Now, over in this area, we've got a Target, we have got Bass Pro Shop, but then when you also go right here into the Pinnacle Hills Promenade area, this is where you'll have Dillard's, Dave & Buster's. Also, you will get like Pottery Barn, Banana Republic, some of the higher end shopping. And then also good to know is over here we have the Fresh Market, and then we've also just opened up a brand new Whole Foods not terribly far away. And as you can see, right in the heart of all of this is also Mercy Hospital. So this is really a central part of Rogers, and like I said, it feels to me like that suburb of any major city, that first one outside that is kind of the cool hip place to go. A lot of young people are flocking to Rogers right now just because of that vibe. All right, and with all of that upscale feel in Rogers, guess what? You still get all the biking that we love in Northwest Arkansas. So the Razorback Greenway actually runs all the way from Fayetteville all the way into Bella Vista. So if you want to avoid some of the traffic that we see on I-49 trying to get to all the different places, biking is one good way to do that. So let's take a look at the map here. I just kind of pulled in how to bike. This would be from the Rail Yard Bike Park, which is located near downtown Rogers, you can bike all the way into Bentonville to Walmart. So there are lots of little feeders that even if you're not coming from downtown, that you can feed onto this greenway and use biking as your mode of transportation should you want to do that. Of course, you're not very far from any of the mountain biking trails, and those are all around Northwest Arkansas. So Rogers, don't rule out Rogers just because you think you need a mountain biking community. You can find that in Rogers or nearby Rogers. So double check where you're looking before you make up your mind. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, I think Rogers may be the place for me, or Northwest Arkansas may be the place for me, I would absolutely love to hear from you and love to help you make this move as seamless as possible. As I said, I help people move in and out of Northwest Arkansas every single day. So I'd love to help make your move here the best possible and help you decide exactly where you want to live. Now, when we're talking about Rogers, we can't miss out on the golf community and outdoor life. So let's dig into that now. Rogers is a hub for sports enthusiasts of all kinds, especially if you love golf. So two major communities that people love if you love golf, two golf communities. One is Shadow Valley Country Club. The other is the Pinnacle Country Club. And one reason why people love Pinnacle is really, first of all, it has gorgeous, gorgeous homes. But it is the home of the Walmart Northwest Arkansas, I'm going to have to look at this, Championship LPGA tournament. Happens every single year. All this is so much fun. You get to watch so many of the world's top golfers, and they bring the community in. There's a little thing called Bites, which is a way for you to come and sample local foods. And then my personal favorite part of the entire golf tournament is just to be able to follow everybody around and look at all of the beautiful homes. Now, in addition to that, there is Topgolf Rogers, which is for people more like me who are not really great golfers and just like to hit a golf ball once or twice. And then the next thing that is coming that is so exciting, golf is not your game. We do have something really exciting going on in Northwest Arkansas, but in Rogers specifically. So Northwest Arkansas is getting a professional soccer team. How exciting is that? So they are building the new soccer stadium, and it is located right here. It is over near the promenade, over by Target, and that is where they're going to be building the soccer stadium, but also just a lot of other things around that are going to, it's going to be kind of mixed use. A little bit of living, a little bit of retail, a little bit of restaurants. So we're getting even more things that are going on with that. So keep looking at that if sports are your thing. Not wait to go to that first professional soccer match. All right, so sports aren't your jam, but you really love the outdoors. There are two places that I really want to tell you about that I think are extra special in Rogers. They're just a 2-minute drive outside of downtown Rogers, as you can see right there. There's downtown Rogers. We have got Lake Atalanta Park and Trails. Well, this is stunning. They've got fresh spring-fed lakes. They have walking trails, boardwalks, biking, anything you want to do outdoors, a dog park. I love a good dog park because I love golden retrievers, I love all dogs. So that's a great place. It's just right outside of downtown Rogers, the old part of Rogers. And you can just head over there and feel like you're back in nature. Now, the other thing that you need to know about Rogers is you are literally a 15-minute drive from Beaver Lake. I'm going to zoom right in here. Probably the closest arena for you to just launch a boat is going to be, that's Lake Atalanta. Let's go over here to Prairie Creek. So you're probably going to go to the Prairie Creek Marina. That's going to be your closest marina for you to launch from. But as you can see, Beaver Lake goes all the way in there. You're about 15 minutes from downtown Rogers. And I think that's one thing that makes Rogers so special, especially if you love that lake life. You can be at your corporate office and then in 15 minutes be on a boat and enjoying lake life. So if you want to make Rogers your next home or anywhere in Northwest Arkansas, I would love to hear from you. Please subscribe to the channel so that you can keep getting updated videos. Also, just drop a message below, tell me what you like, or reach out to me that way. Plus, you can scan the QR code or simply give me a phone call. Literally in 5 to 15 minutes, we can start this whole conversation and get your move going so that when you move to Northwest Arkansas, you find the best place for you to call home. I look forward to seeing you back here next time.